Hi guys, I wanted to pop in real quick today to answer the most common question I keep getting this summer. I'm getting the same question daily, and the question is, what do I need to set up my classroom for the school year? And while I can't go into detail for every question because I don't know where you teach, what grades you teach, so push-in, pull-out, inclusion, and obviously I don't have your student IEPs, but I thought I could take this opportunity to share with you 10 resources that I use that I think could be in every special education classroom because it helps set up the framework and the structure you need to help students be successful. So I'm going to share these 10 resources. Obviously, I'm in my dining room, so I don't have quite all of them with me, but I have bits and pieces, and I can kind of just go over it quickly for you. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the first resource on my list for starting materials for your classroom, and that's my starter kit. It's actually not a tool you'll use in your classroom like for students, but it's 220 pages of information that I've created about how I set up and implement my classroom. So I just stuck it in a binder, 15 chapters, so I just did tabs. There's a lot of pictures, so when you go to floor plan, there's information. Oh, I'm on the wrong chapter. So there's information about floor plans. I have diagrams as well as pictures. Let's see, chapter 5 is all about visual supports in the classroom. So there's plenty of visuals of the visual supports. There's 15 chapters, but there's also 11 steps to setting up your classroom. And the special ed starter kit comes with checklists. I'm a visual person, so I write to-do lists for everything. So I provide a checklist for you in the starter kit. So there's 11 steps, and then each step also has more detail. So here's the floor plan checklist. Well, you can't just really go and say my floor plan's done if you haven't thought every step. So I break it down. There's notes to do for you to stay organized throughout the process. So there's bulletin board, checklist, daily schedule, and so on and so on. Staffing, organization. These all come included in the starter kit. Also in the starter kit, there's a couple other checklists that I used when I first started teaching. Now it's ingrained in my mind, but I use monthly checklists. So things like put out old and or put away the old and take out the new, such as calendar pieces, social stories, adapted books. I just like to know that it's not the 5th day of the month. Like, oh shoot, I haven't put out my social stories yet. So that is just something I have, as well as a before school checklist and an after school checklist, just to help you streamline your daily routines and save time, because I know we're all so busy prepping as special ed teachers. So I just wanted to kind of help you stay organized with that. So that's my first resource in my starter kit bundle. My second resource I actually don't have here because it's on my wall in my classroom, but it's my classroom rules. You have to have rules posted in any classroom, no matter what you teach or where you teach. So I just chose 5 simple rules and paired them with visuals because I think students benefit from having that visual, and they're just simple enough rules to where it kind of addresses all behaviors. I didn't want to get too detailed. So that's my second resource that I have included in the bundle. The third resource is probably the most important in my opinion. I say this time and time again. The visual schedules are like the backbone to my classroom. So I have 3 different types of schedules in my classroom, 4 depending on if I have devices. It's always individualized for student needs. So here, the only one I have here today, because it fit in my trunk, was my binder schedule. So I don't have the icons because those are in my classroom, but the schedule will be posted here. But what time is it when they're done? They flip it, put it on the back. And I have more details about my binder schedule that I'll link in this video for you. But I also use wall schedules, and I like to display a weekly schedule in my classroom. So I have a big grid, Monday through Friday. So I have the whole class schedule as well as individualized pull-out schedules. And I do that because we have so many personnel coming and going in the classroom. And if they're confused of why my students are doing something and it doesn't make sense to them, I just say reference the schedule. We're on schedule and there's a reason for play and there's a reason for breaks. or leisure. So I just feel, put it on the door. I mean, I put it right by the door and there's no questions asked. So that's my visual schedule bundle. Like I said, I don't have it all with me in my dining room, but I would say that's the most important resource in my starter kit bundle that I'm providing for you guys. The next product I only have part of that here for you today, is my work center bundle. I feel like any special education classroom, you're gonna have kids of different abilities. You're gonna have different grade levels possibly, so whole group may not be the best way to teach. So I do a lot of small group work rotation centers, but I also have students with behavioral needs. So how are you supposed to get students to rotate and be successful on their work if the actual transition from table to table is overwhelming for them? So I created a color-coded system, and I don't have my tables here, but all my work centers are color-coded. So I have a blue table, red table, and green table. I have a ball hanging from the ceiling, the table is labeled, everything's labeled. And I'll link to that post as well so you can see more information. But students are given a working card. So this group would go to the blue table first, then red, then green. They could earn a clip at each, and they could also pick what they're working for. So this is just a way to where you pass out your card, and the kids eventually, for me, usually by the second month of school, they know, okay, this is my routine, time to go earn my clips. And they know that there's a reward at the end. So I have 3 different groups to give that an option. Obviously, I just printed these. They're not laminated or Velcro because those are in my classroom. But I wanted to show you, I've had every student of every ability, and the work center rotation system with color coding and the working card, it works, I'm telling you. I have students who struggle with lining up for recess, but they could do the rotational work centers because they have that visual. So I highly recommend that for your classroom. The next visual, I don't have here because it's a shelving unit in my classroom, but task box. Task boxes are in every special education classroom. Whether you teach high or low, primary or secondary, you could change those skills inside the task boxes, but it's only effective if students know how to work the task boxes. So I have a little color-coded system where students can check in, get their task box, complete the task, and put it away. And I feel like you can have the best task, but if they don't know the system, you're not building independence. And that is the purpose of task boxes. And then the next resource, which builds upon the task box visual labels, is you can have the best task box system ever. But the students get the task, but they don't know how to complete it. Again, you're prompting them and you're not teaching independence, which is the purpose of task boxes. So I've created a simple task box template. So no matter what the task is, put in matching, sorting, no matter what the task is, I snap a picture of each step and I just plug it into the template on my computer, print it, laminate it, and then you have this great visual to go along with each task. It's small, it fits inside of a shoebox container, and it's building independence. So that, I mean, my whole point of my class is to build independence with my students no matter what level they're at. So the next product in my starter kit bundle is calendar. How important is calendar? Every student needs to learn calendar skills in their classroom. So obviously a part of this is my calendar wall display, which I don't have here, but all of that, it all goes together. So I have a color-coded calendar system. So what's on the board matches the worksheets and the file folders and the books. So students can follow along at their own level. You don't want students to get bored, but you also need them to participate. So I just have a couple different calendars to go along with the calendar board. So I have a calendar file folder, so students can do today, or yesterday, today, tomorrow, the month, the weather, the season, the date, and all the pieces are over here. But what's great is the month is red on here, and it's also going to be red on the board, as well as it's red in my calendar books. So students are able to follow along. As the teacher in front, I can scan and make sure they're all on the right section. You know what I mean? I'm not having to constantly prompt them. So here's another level I have, which is calendar. Calendar book. So students can point along as they do it. I have another level calendar book. I just didn't grab that, so it's in my classroom. But there's movable pieces, as well as 2 different worksheets. So this is one, I actually have them in dry erase or pocket practice right now that I use dry erase because I don't like to waste a paper every day. The students circle the answers. It's double-sided, so they can do it on their own. You can also print it and have people mark it with pencil. And the next worksheet is, you can see it's fill in the blank with word banks. I do have a third worksheet that has no word banks. I just didn't have that to bring home today. So calendar is an important skill, but you also don't want students bored out of their mind, or you don't want it so above their head that they can't participate. So I use all 5 levels of calendar materials in my classroom, and we're able to do it together. So it's not like, oh, you go to that group, you go to that group. No, we're able to all do it together at our own level, building independence and learning these crucial skills. So that leads to the next product that's in my starter kit, and that's my morning visuals. Again, I don't have it here because it's on my wall, but I think it's so important to start your day greeting your students and making sure they feel welcome. And it's a good way for the teacher to check in with the students. Usually you can tell how a student's day is going to be by the way they walk in the door. But I wanted to add visuals and questions and prompts to make it meaningful for the students, because a hi might not be that beneficial to some students. So I like to have them pick a greeting. Sometimes they want to give me a hug, sometimes it's a high five, sometimes it's nothing, and that's okay as long as they're getting the choice how they want to greet me. So I use the visuals paired with my question book and practice communication at the same time. The next tool I have in my starter kit is something I think every classroom needs, and that's all my working cards. No matter what grade you have, you might have a student that just needs an extra tool to help them be successful. So these are just your common working cards. I have a bundle that has a bunch of different ways. I have a small one, so 3 to earn a reward, the first send card, another one that's this way, I'm working for, and this has 4 tokens to earn your reward. This one has 10 tokens. I don't have this one Velcroed. And all of these come in black and white as well as different color options. There's a couple more. Like I said, I grabbed whatever I could grab in my classroom. But working cards and positive reinforcement is so important for those kids that just need a little extra support. It's amazing what a working card can do to support your students. And the last resource that's included in my starter kit, there's actually 3, are my calm down kits. I have 3 calm down kits in my store, and I set up a calm down corner in my classroom. I feel like it's absolutely imperative. Start that from day 1. I don't like to wait and see how my students are, because if you have a kid that's having behaviors and you wait to do the calm down corner, other students are gonna know, oh, that's for that kid. But if they walk in day 1 and there's, I have these labels, and students just know, okay, there's a cool down area, cool, I need to take a break. It's not identified for that one student, if that makes sense. So I have a bunch of visuals. I'm not going to go through all of them because I have detailed blog posts elsewhere. But between the first 2, Calm Down Kit 1 and Calm Down Kit 2, I have visuals, what do you need to feel better? How do you feel? Transition cue cards, which is huge for kids that struggle with transitioning away from a preferred activity. Breathing visuals, and these come in all different shapes and sizes in here. How to calm down. A break visual, because sometimes my kids like to request breaks every other minute, so they're limited to X amount of breaks a day. A larger transition thing. I have break cards, I have lanyards. So there's just a bunch of different visuals in my first and second Calm Down kit that I think it's just great to have ready, because when you need it, you need it. You don't have time to wait. And that leads to my other Calm Down kit, which this is bulky because I printed it not double-sided, but a Calm Down kit on the go. So this is great when you can bind it in a smaller version. And this is like great for transition and inclusion. I have kids that take this with them, and it leads them through the steps to calm down. I'm not going to go into detail because I'll link to that blog post for you, but I really do believe that Calm Down kits help build a successful classroom environment and help every student to be successful. So those are my 10 resources that I think can be in every single special education classroom, no matter what you teach, where you teach, what grade you teach. I do think that all of these resources help to build a structured classroom. And if you have a structured classroom and you have the behavior management down, you can do anything in terms of curriculum. But I do think you need to lay the framework from day one. So I wanted to pick these 10 to share with you to help you set up your classroom. So I hope it helped. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And I'm going to link all more blog posts to all these resources so you can see them in more detail. Thanks for watching.